All right. All right. Is it that? I'm pretty sure I'm live streaming. I just need to get my other computer up and running before I can confirm that I am indeed live streaming. So I'm working on getting the other computer up and running as of right now. So I can't even like tell whether or not I'm just talking to myself or not. So we are going to find out real soon. We are in fact live streaming, which is good. I'm glad that I'm able to confirm that we are indeed live streaming, and we've been doing so for a solid minute, which is good. And Lego Cuda build. So I pretty much just gave it away, but we will be working on doing the Cuda SMG from Black Ops 3 today. I'm going to be trying to do it, I should say. As some of you have probably known for a while now, the Kuda is not necessarily my favorite weapons to be working on at the current state and time. I'm going to send out a message to Hangouts real quick, just so that everyone knows that I am in fact streaming. Yeah. So I've plugged in the mouse into my laptop. I'm using my, of course, like jury-rigged as shit setup for what I'm trying to do, which basically means that I've got it my Elgato running from my Xbox into my computer, but my computer screen running into the Xbox's TV port so that I can open up the TV app on the Xbox and use that. So if you see any Xbox Live notifications pop up during the stream, that would be why. Anyhow, I do have the Black Ops 3 grip design on the desktop, but I don't know, um, know if it's the updated one. Hey Jim, hey Pixel, and hey Brickbuilt. I know all three of you are here watching, even though um, I don't see two of you in chat. I see one of you in chat so far. This is not the updated Kuda, which is kind of a problem. I need the updated Kuda, which means I gotta unplug the mouse from this computer and plug it back into my other computer and upload that grip design to my Google Drive. Take that and put it onto this computer, which can be done. It's gonna take me a little while, and y'all are gonna be staring at a screen for a little bit while I do so. I've been messing with the Cuda for a while. It's not fun. This is uh, not gonna be easy, is a good way to put it. It's definitely gonna be something that takes me time to do. I don't know how long this live stream is gonna be, but I have a theory that it's gonna be 2-3 hours long. It depends on when I want to get off and go play Black Ops 3 because I will be getting off to go play Black Ops 3. If my friend Luke gets on and he sends me an invite, I will be joining him for Black Ops 3 just because some of the new DLC weapons are out. I want to get as many crypto keys up and running as possible, just because that's something that I want, if that makes any sense. It's going to take a minute to upload this damn thing to Google Drive because, yeah. The delay is real. The reason the delay is real is, like I've said before, I'm running my Elgato game capture software off of my Xbox and then running my um, computer into my Xbox. So there's like two wires, there's three wires that it's technically running through, plus an Elgato, plus a computer that it's running through, and that's a pain. That's why the delay is so long. Um, the CUDA is a pain. I will agree with you on that. But I think it's going to be worth it. The reason it's going to be really good by the time I finish it, and I'm hoping that I do something a tad bit different from what everyone else has been doing. See, this is where I left off on the CUDA um, originally, and I don't think this is going to be how I continue it. What are the newest DLC? The newest DLC weapons are the HG40 and the PS or RSA sniper rifle. The HG40 is basically like the MP40 of the game. They've just updated it so that it looks a little bit more modern. So think of the Thompson from Advanced Warfare, and then take the MP40 and put it in Black Ops 3, and that's what you get basically. So um, that is what's going on in terms of new weapons. The sniper rifle as well is a weird bolt action sniper rifle that has like a revolver cylinder on it. It's really really weird. Um, I don't necessarily like it, to be completely honest. It's a really weak weapon as well, which is a problem with sniper rifles because sniper rifles are supposed to be one hit kill type things, but yeah, no, this is a really really weak sniper rifle. I think this is the image that we're going to go with because it's a fairly big image size, and the paint scheme doesn't get in the way too much of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Um, so the problem that I have with this is that this seems too high for me because we're running, even though the CUDA is kind of fat in the receiver here, this type of design just seems too big. So we're going to go ahead and scrap all of that. Um, And then the other problem is I'm running 5 stud lower receiver, which is what you're seeing here. And then I had to skin this down to 2 studs because this is going to be 4 studs so that there's a slight indentation on the inside of this. And then I believe I'm going to have to change it back once more to 3 studs. So if I'm going to change it back to 3 studs, we're not going to save that design and we're just going to go back to this because this is the original 3 stud wide on the inside of this maggot well here that we can use. So that being said, let's find a color to work in. Let's work in pink. I've played the original Borderlands, but I literally put like 5 seconds into it and then stopped. Um, so this is the new sniper rifle for in Black Ops 3, the RSA interdiction. It's ugly as sin. I hate the way this looks. This is the revolver back here, and the bolt action is up here. It's a super, super weak gun, like really, really low damage. And then this is the HG40. Like I said, it's basically just an MP40 that's been updated for Black Ops 3. So, and then that's that. Oh gosh, this is the new. This is one of the new melee weapons. This is the Malice knife. There's also a baseball bat that was just added because that's the main goal right now is to solve how I'm going to do that design on the upper receiver of the Cuda. And I've narrowed it down, and I really really want to do it using these pieces right here. These are going to be utilized in such a way that kind of looks like this. It's going to be difficult. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I will possibly rage quit because I've tried this before and it didn't work exactly like I wanted it to. So there's the possibility of me rage quitting in the middle of this stream and just getting off. Um, as people in chat have already pointed out, the Kuda really is a pain in the ass weapon to do. Are there any CSGO guns you haven't done? A lot. The main problem that I have with CSGO is that I've played it before and I have absolutely hated it. That is a high skill game, and I do not have the skill to play it. I have plenty of skill to play Black Ops 3. You guys have seen that before in my Black Ops 3 live streams and things like that. But in terms of playing CSGO competitively or playing it just naturally, I can't do it. I can't ADS down sights or aim down sights, which is something that really, really bothers me. Like I really want to be able to aim down sights, and that game just that it doesn't let me. Like I really don't understand the point of having um like sights in the game if you can't aim down them. That's something that bothers me a lot. Uh, Sorry, I was just checking a chat message that I had received. This should be farther up, so we can drag this up to about there is where it is because this line here starts just above the trigger, and this is where I have the trigger on my model. So we will start it just about there. I want to say I'll make this 3 studs going back. That's 4. I meant 3. Um, because it ends kind of above the back end of this back here. So I actually might just push all of this back just an extra. Yeah, we'll just go back just another one. And then we'll have 4 studs worth of room to do the stock mechanisms and things such as that. Yeah, and then something that else that bothers me about CS:GO Gym is that you have to like crouch with certain weapons to get the best aim out of them and stuff like that. And I don't like that. That's just not entertaining to me per se. It's just not something that I really wanted to do in the game. I also need to cover this up, and the last time I checked, I used these pieces. So we will just do that once more to cover up the cylinders on the side here. And then I've also gone through on the other model and deleted these, which I will be doing again because they just seem kind of out of place. And then we will come back through and paint these their proper colors because we will be working in pink on the other weapons. Excuse me while I burped in my mouth. How far are we? Okay, so this kind of ends right in front of the trigger guard. Uh, can we do that? Can we end that in front of the trigger guard? And I believe we can. And I'll mess with that later because this is going to become a pain. I can already tell you that right now. These bricks that I'm about to place are just going to be placeholders for the time being. I'm probably going to come in and change these later on for something else. Chances are it'll be some form of Technic beam, or not Technic beam, just like plate going across. And I feel like these are going to be at too much of an angle with what I've just attempted to do, which is something that I don't want. Uh, so what if we just jack this up 3 studs again? And we'll take this on across like so. And take that one back on across like so. And rotate it up. So that's what I had in mind in terms of it um, being a proper angle. The problem with that is it still seems really fat, and I don't want it to be. I don't know. I don't know. Just no. So to fix that, we are going to delete all that, and that's about the proper height that I'm going for. So can we do that somewhere else? Yeah, I give information on what exactly just happened. A big portion of live streaming is that you're always talking. That's something that's really, really important because if someone just like joins into the live stream and you're not talking at all and they don't hear you, they get, I don't want to say like confused, but they're kind of lost because now that you're not saying anything, they don't know if their stream is broken. They don't know if they're not in the right place. There's all sorts of things that could be a question to them that they don't know the answer to. And this is not going to work. That needs to be a more of an angle. This is at most this is a two stud high gap, and I'm not getting that two stud high gap like I want. So what we're going to do is lower this, drag that down, and then drag these back up. And I want to say that's too much of an angle. This one needs to go a little higher. Yeah, that's too much of an angle. So now we're gonna increase these by only a stud higher. If those of you are confused with the increment system in Legos, a brick like this is technically 3 studs high, and these plates are only 1 stud high. So if you ever need to measure things in height, you measure it via studs. Just so you know, so you're more educated in the Lego building system. And I want to say that's the angle that I'm going to go with. That seems like a good happy medium between too skinny and too fat. I really wanted to do something other than the normal slope pieces that they use, because I wanted to get the thinness of these lines in play, which is something that's hard to do when you're using slope pieces. So no slope pieces here. I'm going to be using these angle brackets that you see right here. Something that I can try to do to make this seem like a good gun. I believe my computer just crashed. Or no, actually my display driver has stopped working. That is a problem. And now I have to close out a LED and relaunch it. This is not the first time that this has happened. I thought that the most recent Windows 10 update had fixed that, but apparently not. So yeah. Anyhow, we are going to fix the little bit of a gap here using a system that I might be able to jury rig almost. This might or might not be possible. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the part in there that I want to actually go in there. So I will, for the time being, leave these in red just so I may be able to delete them in case this does not go as planned, which is always a possible thing. In any Lego builder, it might go wrong. Um, so, how much experience do I have with LDD? The other day I said 6 to 7 years, but looking back on it, it's got to be more than that. In particular, I want to say it's been a good. I'm trying to get like a good number. I don't want to go too high and show my age, but I also don't want to go too low and then sound inexperienced. Um, I've been around since like one of the original LDD stages. Um, I would say that I've been around LDD since about 2005-ish. Here, let's find this out. When did LDD come out? When was LDD created? Um, why is LSD coming out? I don't want LSD. I want LDD. La, 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 la. Let's see if there's a wiki page for it. I have not fried anything weird recently. We fried fish on it the other night and egg rolls. But that's not something that's weird. That's usually something that you would initial release 2000, with it since 2005. So I've been with it for about 10 years now. It's been with me for a very, very long time. And I've basically grown up with it. So that's how much experience I have with LDD as of this current point in time. What I was trying to do there with those wedges is because let's say that we have one of these sitting here, one of these bricks up there, and then have a wedge sitting down. The only problem is, obviously, I can't do that in LDD. Like, LDD doesn't accept that these bricks can slide up in here, so I can't do that. So that's how I would close off that edge right there. What is an egg roll? An egg roll is a traditional Japanese and or Chinese uh, tortilla, I guess is a good way to put it. Um, it's a crunchy outer shell, like a taco tortilla, and on the inside is all sorts of vegetables and different types of meats. I want to say that an egg roll has egg as the primary meat inside of it. And then I want to say there's like carrots on the inside of it, and then some form of green pea or green bean. Um, I don't in particular know what's inside of it because I kind of don't like egg rolls all very much. I don't like Chinese food all very much. That's my main beef, so to say, with Chinese food in particular is that I just I don't particularly care for it. Um, that's not saying that it's bad. I just don't like it. I've had good Chinese food before. The only issue is that's like few and far between, and I have to go out of my way to find those places where it was good to experience it again, which it's kind of hard to do. So yeah, we are going to drag these forward to bridge the gap across these beams and make it just a tad bit stronger. Uh, and now I'm going to have to delete that, drag this over like so, and put that there. I was wrong. I'm going to have to put that there, delete that, put a 3-pin going through it, and then this there and this there, because there's going to be another hole running alongside of this here. Excuse my weird little burp right there. I do wish that LDD would let you still buy the stuff you make. Unfortunately, they pretty much realized that they were losing so much money with that system, and I'm talking about so much money. Um, the proof is basically in the fact that Legos cost a crap ton of money now. Um, that's where that's it. Wow, I can't talk tonight. I apologize, guys. That's where you'll find the most evidence because if you could just make a set full of the bricks that you wanted and get it off of LDD for cheaper, which is something that people were doing, you could obviously just circumvent going through and buying Lego sets altogether. I know case making, and I kid you not, they would basically create a Lego set, for example, a Lego Jedi Starfighter in LDD, and then they would take and buy that set from them, and it was at a cheaper price than what Lego was selling because of all the printed pieces that were being used, and um, the minifigs were not included as well. So you could get the main Jedi Starfighter without the decals, the stickers, and things like that for a much lesser price than what was usually on the store shelf. And then you could go onto Bricklink and buy those stickers, like legit, just the stickers themselves, and then you'd be making, you'd save money on a Lego set, which is kind of a big thing because Legos are expensive as all get out. So that's just my 2 cents in it. And that is something that has happened before. I know that that has happened. And I know that's part of the reason LVD was discontinued from being able to have that ability. And it does suck because I know people who were legitimately using the program for good were screwed out of the program more effectively. And I'm going to change this up into 5 because it only just a little bit. So we'll go 5, working with odd numbered studs and things like that. So, yep. And now I'm going to have to fill in this back section. Yes, I'm not looking forward to. We are clearly so. It's entirely out of place. Or why I'm doing that. The reason I'm doing that is because building material to use wall bricks themselves, this 3-step pattern that you see here, an entire stock mechanism back here, like this, it's all into this forward position here, which is going to be better for the strength of the weapon itself. And I believe that's going to be as good as we're going to get the angle on it. So that's what we're going to roll with for now. I'm going to go ahead and change the colors that we've seen here just so we can determine where exactly everything is. All right, so I believe that's how we're going to proceed. The next part of the thing that we're going to want to do is this black piece here. This section coming down here like so, which I have an idea of how I'm going to do. And then, of course, the front handguard here, which I also have an idea of how I'm going to do. So, yes. I've already forgot what we need to do. This black section. Okay, so to do the black section, we are going to cross our fingers and hope that the next little trick that I try to do works like I want it to work. So, yes. What am I doing? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what if we drop this piece here? Throw one of these in there for now. Paint those yellow. Drag one of these suckers on into here, like so. And then because this little piece here has a slight curve to it, we are going to use one of these thingies, and it's going to line up on the bottom where it should perfectly. So this is going to instead turn into a 6, like so. And then now we have ourselves a proper looking thing. And I'd go to say that this piece here needs to come out 1 stud, like so. And then we're gonna run a 5. Is that a 5? That's a 5. That's not good. I didn't want that to be a 5 because that means I gotta do. Can this come forward 1 stud? That can't come forward 1 stud. Balls. This sucks. So what we can do is instead take these coming back like so, and then some coming forward because these have 4 studs to hold on to, whereas these up here only had 3 studs. So we will do that. Imagine these in real life. I'm trying to, because I'm trying to get all the strength down. Basically, I'm trying to make sure that if you were holding this in real, this wouldn't just completely shatter in your hands, which is going to be hard to do because a lot of the imagination that's going into this isn't being used right now. Like, for example, if I were to leave these pieces just sticking out like this and built the entire handguard based off of this and then it connected anywhere up here, I'd have a very unsturdy front portion of the model. But I know in my imagination that later on, this entire front part here is going to connect to this back part here. What I have is dual counter levers balancing out one another. So while this bottom yellow part that you're seeing here, cantilever, is balancing out the stock, I'm going to have another cantilever aimed right here that runs in between the bolt and charging handle that will be balancing out the entire front end. And because this weight is pushing down here and this weight is pushing up here, they balance out with one another and we should have a sturdy model. So yes, if that made any sense to anyone. Me for president 2016, I'm too young. I want to say that minimum running age is like 21 or 20, something like that. And I am, as of right now, not old enough to have the official presidency of the United States of America, which is unfortunate because I'd like to say that I'd make a fairly good president, um, fairly better president than some of the candidates as of right now. That is for damn sure. And I believe that this piece, no matter what I try to do, is not going to fit in there, and it's going to keep doing this weird thing that you see there. So I'm just going to I will take and drag you out like so because I want to get another 5 going on because I'm about to go and do some shape work in terms of come out, right? Um, it'll probably I'll take it out a while and let's get this groove going on. So this groove is right above the groove here for the most part. So to do that groove, what we're going to do is run some 8s because I'm going to take that out 8 studs, which is what we're going to do here. We're going to run an 8 like that. And I want to make this strong on the inside. So to do that, we're going to use some of these 8s and then run a pin through various sections of it. And we're going to alternate the direction of each pin so that they can't unlock from one another, basically. And then we will run for time, basically, we will run these going up like so. And then to do this groove that you're seeing here, we will be using these pieces here. So we will go with a 4, a 2, and oh boy, how am I going to do this one? That's only 7, and it kind of drops down on the front here. So we will go with. Oh, I know what I can do. I can push this out 1 more, like that, and then drag this piece to the back as well, and that will take off some of the slack that we have. So now that is the groove that we're going to have running right here. I don't think I have the power to tell a another country's uh, business what to do with their products. I don't think I just have that authority, even as president. I know the president is considered to be the most powerful person on the world or on Earth, but I don't think he could walk into Lego HQ and be like, "Yo, give my peeps back home some free Legos." I don't see that happening anytime soon, which is unfortunate because I'd love to get free Legos. I just don't see that being a thing. Um, how are we going to do this angle? Uh, Here's the answer. We are going to use side plates so that it looks better because it's not looking like I want it to look with the pieces that I had intended on using. So we'll throw these down and then we're going to go down to this section and grab out one of these vent pieces here, and I flipped it around the wrong way, and we'll throw that down there. And that is a decently better angle. We will not do that actually. We will instead keep this up one step like so. We will drag this PC on down there and this PC on down there, and we will do that going along top. That's a much better piece. Um, Nick does some really, really exceptional models. That's like Nick is known throughout the community for doing high end quality models that almost like no one else can replicate in terms of uh, quality and not so much quantity, but just not being able to replicate, which is a problem. I've never worked with his arch design before, but I kind of want to, but I don't know if any of the other arches would fit inside of it. We just use that one. And this one seems too big, so if we can drop it down just a few. Okay, I dropped it down too much. Let's drop this back down. Okay, yeah, that angle doesn't match up there. Okay, whatever. We won't do that far advanced. Um, Nick is he has the advantage of real life Legos, which if you didn't know are much easier to work with than LDD, um, which is a definite plus in his category worth of work, and a definite minus in my category worth of work. Um, so yes, this is something that's going to be difficult to do. This angle can carry up much higher. You know what? I'll go with the threes because this angle is much higher than what I originally thought. It kind of comes up above these sections here because you can see like draw a line over here and you can see that's above it. So we will carry that up like so. And then to give us us, give us us, give us. I don't know. I apologize once more for my lack of clear speech. To give us more of a base to work with now that we've cleared the magwell here, and to make it more solid, we're going to go ahead and run our plates down through here basically. So this will thin everything up and give us a better base to work with, basically. And then we'll close it up off the cap here, and of course I'll go back in and work on that later. Um, it is currently 10:11, and I have yet to get a Xbox Live party invitation from my friend Luke. Um, Ignore that one. That's not important just yet. Chances are I'll get spammed with invites from Moogle or Matt here in a second, but that should be fine. I'm doing the part in front of the receiver, this little thing right here, because this angle here and this angle here is going to be what defines how I do this here. Because I can't build the upper part of this receiver and then adjust this accordingly. Because this is an angle and this is an angle that I can replicate with Legos, I should build this portion of it first and then adjust this because this portion here is square and rectangulish and easy to mess with and modify, whereas this portion here has angles to it. So if I start by building this, it'll be easier building this. That is the greatest lesson I can give you guys right there. Um, So, yes, go forth and be fruitful, my sons. Typing is indeed hard. It gets even harder when it's so early in the morning. I know it must be really early in the morning for you, Jim. Like, what time is it over where you live? Because I know you're on a huge time difference than me, which must it must suck because this is the first live stream that you've been in that I can recall, and it's early in the morning for you. We're going to run a 6 like this, and now we have 2 more studs, which is perfect because this portion here is going to utilize these pieces here. And then that will end at the front of the receiver there. And that, I'd go to say, is a fairly close match, other than I think I'm going to want to shorten this down by a stud, maybe 4 studs. I'm going to single it down by 2 studs just to keep the overall shape of the Cuda shorter. So this is the easy part of working with LDD. I can delete bricks at will. Um, you guys in real life have to take everything apart, whereas I can just do exactly what I'm doing right now and drag everything backwards. Delete that, and we can delete all of these, delete that 1 pin, keep that on the inside, and throw in some 6s. Boom, boom, and 1 more. Delete that, delete that. We will keep this piece. Delete that, delete that, delete that. Oh, I missed. Ow! Oh man, that hurt. Yeah, 3:18 is really early in the morning. I'm sorry that I'm up live streaming so uh, late for you. So I apologize. Maybe sometime I'll do one that's like really early in the day so that it's much closer to your time. What am I doing? This is supposed to be 8. I sneezed and I crinked my neck really hard when I sneezed. So this is throwing me all out of whack now. It still hurts. Like I can feel the knot in my neck growing almost, which is not good because that means it's gonna hurt like a bitch. Thank you for telling me, bless you. Multitasking like that is really hard. I cannot multitask like that at all. Um, Even as a college student, you'd think like going through 2 semesters of college already would really help you get into multitasking easily. It doesn't. Like I go to say that it, in fact, um, like going to college makes you worse at multitasking because you really learn how to focus and do something. Like I have a math test uh, like over the weekend that I haven't even started on. I got the problem down like easily. That was that like 3-hour math problem that I had the other day. That took me like forever to figure out how to do. And then I opened the math textbook and it was like right there in front of my face. So yeah, that is like the first thing that I need to be doing right now, but I'm not doing. Oh, hey Wolf Bricks, I see you in chat now. You didn't say hi to me, and if you did say hi to me, I apologize for missing it. Um, are you on the equivalent to summer vacation or spring break for us, Jim? Summer vacation is usually like a few months, like 2.5 months, and spring break is usually just like a week. So, how long is your break, and what is it considered in your country? I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Um, because I'm curious. This is I really want to know because separate countries mean you get to learn separate things, and that's something that I kind of want to learn about because I think it would be interesting to learn about these different places almost. That is a problem. So I could jack this up a stud to fix the coloring issue that I am having here, because this is supposed to be black going through here, and it sits flush, which means this would have to go up 2 studs, and this looks so good that I don't want to mess with that. So I'm going to go ahead and just make the executive decision to jack this up by a stud and use these pieces right here. Um, my spring break was 2 weeks ago. And trust me, I didn't do any of that weird, crazy college shit that most college kids are known for doing. In fact, the only thing that I did with my friends over spring break that could be remotely even close to doing something crazy is us going to the beach and me obviously getting sun poisoning, which is something that we've talked about before, because sun poisoning is not to be fucked with. And yeah, I've talked about that on live stream before with people, so they know. And that's an older story at this point. I'm much better now. I'm feeling way, way better than what I was. I'm no longer like forever burning. I can go to sleep now on my side like I'm supposed to. I cannot fall asleep on my stomach like at all, or on my back at all. So going to sleep on my side is much more preferred. I don't know. I really like the UMP 45. It was a definitely different UMP 45 than what most people try to do in terms of like the or the magwell and things like that. Um, you see like a lot of the same types of designs going into Lego guns, which is cool and all because there's only a certain way that you can do Lego guns, but at the same time, there's an expectation in the community that you're going to be different with how you do your. Nick Brick is so popular because his weapons are done in such a way that they're different from everyone else's, which I can really expect and get behind, or respect and get behind. Uh, for the sake of making this obvious, I'm gonna go ahead and make the yellow portion on the inside here a darker tan than the rest of the weapon, just because I want the grooves to be obvious because it's kind of hard when it's all that one color to notice it. So we are going to stick with this and roll with it. Let's go ahead and we'll finish off the top of the receiver now that we have our set height on the receiver. I didn't mean to open my folder file. I'm kind of jealous of you because going to the snow is a big thing, especially like when you're not able to see snow anymore. Um, you kind of realize that snow, even though it's a horrible thing to drive in, and you'll hate it for the rest of your life when you live there, you kind of get to missing it when you never ever see it again, basically. So I've seen snow before. I used to live in Tennessee, so I know the feeling of missing snow, which is something hard to say because most people don't miss snow, but I do in fact miss snow. See, here's the thing. Most people on the UMP 45 don't have a magazine release, and most people don't work with 5 stud wide guns. Um, doing magazine releases is a newer thing in the Lego gun building community, and then doing which calls it doing 5 stud wide weapons is also something new in the Lego gun community. The Lego gun community is a very small thing, and for a very long time there was a set specific way of doing things, and just now recently with the new release of certain Lego parts and things like that, it's grown up into doing more diverse and more intricate things, so to speak. And what I'm about to do is not recommended at the slightest because it's going to be unstable as all get out. But I want it to work out the way that I want it to work out, and to do so, it's gonna have to be done like this. I've always wanted to go skiing on snow before. I can ski on water fairly well. I can't do tricks or anything like that, and I'm just a beginner when it comes to it. But I am able to get up on the skis and such, and because of that, I've always wanted to try it on snow because water moves a fair bit when you're applying pressure and things like that to it. So being able to ski on snow, which shouldn't move as much as water, should be a little bit more fun than doing it on water. And that worked out perfectly, which I am proud of. And that's not going to work out perfectly, so we will do this. And flip that on around and throw that on there. So now we have ourselves our thing to go through. Here's the thing, Jim. This has always been my philosophy. It's easier to put on another layer of clothing to get warmer than it is to get colder in the hotness. So I live in Florida, and Florida is much hotter than the rest of the world. It's certainly not as hot as California or any place like that, but at the same time, California gets snow in certain parts of its mountains, whereas Florida, because we're just flat swampland, we don't get any of that heat. And even though we live on the coast and that takes up some of the heat, we're usually hot most of the time, which really, really sucks. And what am I doing? There's a shell ejection port on this weapon somewhere. Um, what I'm going to assume is the shell ejection port, which is in an interesting spot, at least to say. I got a thing. All right. Yeah, I just needed to check something real quick. I also need to plug my phone in because it is technically dying, and I'm not paying any attention to it, which is so yeah. I'm gonna plug that in, and then I'm gonna set that down off to the side on a piece of wood that I can hear it and vibrate on, and that will probably be loud enough for all of you to hear it vibrate on. And now my nose is running, so I'm gonna be sniffling for the rest of the video. So I apologize, guys. And I'm also taking a look at this shell ejection port design while I'm doing this. To get this to fit where I want it to fit, we're gonna do. Oop, let's flip the gun around the wrong way. We're gonna delete that, and forgotten that there is also a charging handle on this side of the weapon. So we're going to delete that down the weapon up to right above the trigger. Yep, just right about there. We will delete that like so. Delete, or I'm sorry, not delete. Paste that there. Post this there, and then in order to get the groove back in there, because there is that groove right there, what we're going to do is use this piece here, which will give me the groove, level everything, and at the same time, I will be able to leave the gap open for the charging handle. And side plates are some of the new techniques that have opened up a lot of uh, the building aspects of the Lego community. So thank you, side plates, for all of your wonderful help to the Lego gun building community. Your Wi-Fi almost went down. That's not good at all. I'm glad you're still with me, and I'm glad you're still talking to me, even though it must be about 4 or 4:30 in the morning at this point, which is fairly early. I'll tell you now that I didn't get up until 11 today, which is pretty late in the day for Americans. I'm going to leave a hole here for a mock chamber, but I don't. No, I won't do that. We are going to instead erect a place for our rubber band to sit on to stuff. And now I'm gonna get hella confused because I don't know how I'm gonna do this. We are going to switch colors over to our metallic. We are going to go ahead and place our bolt inside the position that it needs to be placed inside of. And this is a problem. How am I going to do this? I don't know. That, and that are going to have to be deleted. So is that and that. Huge space. We are going to switch back over to this tan. We are going to fill in the space that I just proceeded to delete. And then we are going to take our 8 and run it there, and take our 4 or 3, run it there, and grab our 1 back here, put it there. That is all the space that bolt needs to travel back. The problem is this up here. Like, obviously I can put this 8 there, and that will stay for the most part. And I can put this 4 there. The problem is these down here don't have anything to hook onto at all. That is a problem. We fix it with these, like so. And to make sure that this plan is going to work, we will put these going up there. So okay, so that connects. That is good. All right, plan worked. We're good. Good luck getting up and turning off the alarm clock from across the room. I know that sometimes it is such a pain to just even move. When you're in bed and you get comfortable and then you got to get up and move, it can be such a pain. We are going to be using a one side wide bolt for a few reasons. One is because the rubber band system is going to be sitting on the inside of this, so you're going to run one of where are you at? Where are you at? I can run one of these. In particular, I'm not really picky about these. I might go one stud higher, and then we're going to run one of these out this way. We're going to flatten off the distance here, going like so, and make this not dark tan but light tan. We will delete this because that is not going to work for our rubber band retaining system. But something that might work for our rubber band retaining system is this piece put there. And then with that piece there, we're going to run our, where are you at? This baby going down that way. Throw that there. Put that there. We will run that there. Oh, I cannot run that there. We will delete that, actually. Run that there, and run that there to fit in line with the top of this piece there. How do I set up these live streams? I used to use a program called OBS, Open Broadcasting Software, right here. That program has long since broken. So now what I use is my Elgato system, which for some reason, as of right now, is not popping up. So I can't show you that. How I'm running it right now is that out of my computer's HDMI port, I'm running an HDMI cable into my Xbox's HDMI in port. The Xbox One supports live TV streaming using an HDMI cable. So because I'm running my HDMI cable into my Xbox, I'm basically telling my Xbox that my computer is its TV. And because my Elgato captures the screen of the Xbox, I can capture my computer screen, which is how I'm running it now. And Elgato's recording software has a built-in um, live streaming service to YouTube, which is supported by YouTube. Um, Bacher has just popped into the stream, so hi to him. Welcome to our currently 1 hour and 2 minute Cuda live stream build. We are getting somewhere soon, I hope, for the most part. I in particular do not like the Cuda. The Cuda is a horrible firearm, and I think it should burn in hell for its sins. Um, I am not at all enjoying building this model. Um, and don't worry, guys. Like I don't feel forced to build this model at all. Like this is something that I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to build the Cuda. The problem is it's such a difficult model to build, and at the same time, it's such a shit model to build because of all the different angles and whatnot that I just don't find it particularly affable. I guess is Lego is by far one. I'm pretty sure everyone in Aces. So yeah, and or it has just now started raining once more here in wonderful, beautiful Florida. Blind and early in the morning problems. That is true. The problem with it raining here in Florida is not necessarily that I live in a low area because I live on a lake. Uh, but the problem is my roof is a roof that was built in 1956. And part of that problem is that in 1956 they had very different design philosophies of what a roof should be. So I don't have a crawl space between the roof and my room. I have all of 5 inches between my ceiling and the roof, which is an issue because the only thing that you hear is the rain hitting the roof. So all of that was just stated to let you guys know that you might also hear noise in the background. I figured the reason the issues is on my end. It's not on your end, trust me. The problem is I'm running my Xbox laptop, which is running LDD and connected to the internet right now, and she's connected to the internet because um, I have my chat open on my desktop. Plus, I have my sister in the house who's running her laptop and playing Minecraft with her friends. I have my phone connected to the internet. I have my tablet connected to the internet. I have my 3DS connected to the internet. My dad's phone is connected to the internet. I have my grandparents in all the way across the house who are also using the internet. So our bandwidth is basically being shot on all the time. Um, Hello to Oliver and Taylor. How are you doing? Welcome to our hour and 5 minute now stream of the Cuda being built in LDD. I do apologize, guys. Like seriously, the connection is on my end. Don't worry about your internet crapping out on you and anything like that because it's definitely me. It's not you, it's me. But I'm hoping sometime soon I will get off my lazy ass and get a real job to basically move into a home where I can make a dedicated internet connection to do this type of stuff. So that will be done eventually. Greetings from England. Well then, what time is it in England? Because it's either really early in the morning. It's probably really early in the morning. I go to say it's like 6 or 7 o'clock there, which that's pretty damn early in the morning. What are you doing so? What are you doing up so early, mate? That's pretty early. I keep getting messages from group chat. Um, so I'm in it. We'll talk about this for a little bit. I am in a group chat with a bunch of college students from college, obviously. I have a introduction to engineering profession class going on right now, and part of that class is that it's 200 people in this one class. That's a shit ton of people. You're stuffing them in basically a movie theater sized room. And by the way, the rubber band is supposed to come up underneath the charging handle. And the cool thing about doing that is that when you pull the charging handle back all the way to the point in which it locks into place, you will be your rubber band will force the charging handle up into the lock basically. So it's an automatic uh, bolt catch basically. So that's the cool thing. Anyhow, back to my story. This classroom has 200 kids in it at any given point in time, um, and you're in groups of 20. So there's 10 groups in total, and I want to say that the group I'm in is a good group for the most part, but I'll be honest with you, I'd be lying. Um, we have a good 5 people that just don't show up on a regular basis. They're like never in the group chat to talk to any of us about anything. I have a good feeling that like 2 or 3 of them are dead from just like overdosing on drugs or something like that because of the area that I'm just from, and that's something that's not uncommon from around here, in these parts in particular. So it's just it's a shitstorm basically. And as of right now, we're in the middle of doing a group project. And as much as I don't like doing group projects, this one is even worse because I don't think our group leader knows how to accomplish a group project, and or is so done with the people in the group in terms of like not doing work or something like that, that she has decided to go like full bitch mode and just won't attempt her best at this project, which is not a good thing. Because just not attempting your best at a project will definitely make you fail, uh, rather than not even like trying, is what I'm getting at here. Like, okay, so the lesson to be learned here is even if your group leader is a complete and utter bitch, do not make that the reason as to why you have failed to complete the assignment. That is the complete moral of the story. So all of you who are going into college and or will be sooner or later, moral of the story, even if your group leader's a bitch, just live with it. You will survive. You will be fine. There you go. That's my greatest life advice that I can ever give to any of you. So you are welcome for that. England is 1 hour behind you, Jim? Okay. So it's fairly early in the morning for them as well. Um, I want to go ahead and tell you guys thank you for coming out and seeing the stream, because I know it must, I don't want to say like difficult, that's, I'd go to say that's not something that I'd be doing. Generally speaking, early in the morning, I'm sleeping, unless I'm like having to do an essay, which chances are is pretty often because I have a crap ton of essays to do. Anyone who ever tells you that you don't do essays in college is lying to you. Don't listen to them. You do so many essays in college. Um, how am I doing this exactly? Because that's that awkwardly going across here that I don't want that. I don't no. I just no. And that there. Delete that. We will put this there, that there, this thingy there, that thingy there. We will run a flat section going all the way across the receiver of the gun up to there, and then we will run a 6-piece going down there just to close off that bolt and whatnot. Better. Brick built, don't be scared for college. Just anticipate what college will be. Um, it's not a bad thing at all. It's definitely good. It's definitely a learning experience. You just need to be prepared for when you get there. That's the best advice that I can give you. Um, In particular, you need to be prepared for icebreakers on the first day of class, which you should already be decently accustomed to because, like the beginning of class, anyways. You need to be prepared and open to meeting new people. I have not spent a single day for at least meet to them, but I don't think you'll understand my pain of essays. Um, the essay that I need to write sometime this weekend, and today's Thursday, so I need to get on this like ASAP because it's going to take me a while to write. I have to write out a math essay on a problem. Writing out a math essay is almost unheard of for me because it's math. Like what am I possibly going to be able to say in an essay that you don't already know? Uh, it's mind-boggling that I even have to write out an essay on math. It's just yeah, well, yeah. I'll leave it at that basically because yeah, math essay. That's a thing in college. Just so you guys know. So have fun with that. If you want a story to really be scared about, um, I'll tell you one. After I say hi to Pixel because I just saw Pixel jump in the chat. So hi to Pixel. How are you doing? I hope it's well. So yeah. Anyhow, I have 5 classes in college right now, which is more than full time. A full time college student is considered to have 4 classes at a time, and I have 5 right now. So I have a fairly big helping hand worth of classes going on right now. And I have one class is called Introduction to Humanities, and basically what you do in the class is you are introduced to humanities. I couldn't have made that any more simpler for you guys. That's all you do. We started in the Egyptian era. We moved on to the Greek and Roman era. We then did the American Revolution and American Civil War. We are now moving from the Renaissance and the arts into the greatest singers of all time. And I couldn't fucking make this up even if I wanted to. This is the legit topic that we are currently talking about in Introduction to Humanities. The greatest female singers of all time. I spent 3 hours the other day doing that math. On top of that 3 hours for the math problem, another 3 hours to do an assignment uh, that is going through and listening to a 2 hour. He believes, oh, we will see, but possibly I might end it soon. From this professor, you had to write down any information written. We had to do all of that. Um, on top of doing all of B, talk about their words were easy to understand. If they're pitched, we had to talk about from their mouth because I don't know. I'm not well versed in singing, basically. So talking about these types of things uh, isn't my type of thing. And highly suggestive type of thing in this class, but I'm not the professor about, so I've had to go with it so far, and hopefully sometime soon we stop doing these types of still right on is actually the greatest male singers of all. Anyhow, back to the story. I Your C part was to then critique the singer. You had your own opinion, basically your own say, and in particular, my opinions varied along the lines of this person's too slow. I don't like this person's voice. This isn't the type of music that I listen to. That's the reason I don't like it, and different variations of that uh, for basically the reason I didn't like the music that he was presenting because a lot of what he was presenting was classical, and that's a no in my book. That just no. I don't listen to classical. The only time I listen to classical is if it's on piano, and that's because on piano it's good on piano. Like that's about it. And that looks like a fairly good upper receiver on the Cuda. I'm decently proud of that, and we are going to go ahead and make this rail section on top black so that it does not stand out as much as it currently is because it's currently standing out. really bad. We will also make the inside of this black as well. Actually, no, I'll leave that metallic for now because of that pin right there. Um, and I did 3 hours worth of work. We had to analyze multiple different clips, and we had to talk about each clip separately. And I had 15 clips to analyze, and you have to do A, B, and C for each one, every single one of those clips. And I'll go ahead and I'll pull it up for you guys right now because I still have it on the side, and I want to show you guys what exactly I did wrong uh, because that's where this story is going. This is the entire document. It is currently 2,616 words, and I had to do all of this. So I submitted the assignment, and I got an email about an hour or two later after submitting the assignment that I did not follow instructions correctly and that I was receiving a 0. And that 0 is still standing as of the last moment that I checked. And literally, the exact reason he told me that 0 was still standing is because up here, you have to write the person who wrote the song, Ella Fitzgerald, and then she sung Misty, and that's the title of the song. You had to number it, artist, song. I did that, except I did it like this. I put pound symbol, hashtag symbol, whatever you want to call it, symbol 1, and I turned it in exactly like that, and I received a 0 because it was not written like this. Except you have to spell number wrong. I literally received a 0 because I refused to type out number the word and then one the word. Um, and that's the big thing that you have to worry about in college. I have since sent an email back to the professor, basically telling him that's bullshit. I shouldn't be receiving a 0 for 3 hours worth of work because I didn't physically type out the number 1. So currently, he basically said to redo the assignment in terms of just rewriting all the numbers like this to resubmit it and that he'll see what he can do, which in college terms basically means he's going to give me a C or a B for not following directions, but that's certainly a hell of a lot better than getting a fucking 0 out of everything. So that's the reason that you need to be scared of college. Don't be scared of college because you're going to be needing or meeting new people or getting into group chats. You need to be scared of college because professors will fuck you over the second they get a chance to. If they don't like you, if they think that you're purposely like not showing up to class, they will instantly fuck you. Sorry about that, guys. That's just quite frank. It pissed me off. I was so pissed when I got that email. That was something that I did not need today. I worked hard today. I was working outside with my dad and whatnot, and it felt good. And then I got that email, and it was suddenly like, fuck you, your 3 hours worth of work has now gotten you a 0. How do you feel? And whatnot. So, something that is better than the 0 that is currently there. So yeah, that's what you need to be scared of and looking out for in college. So you guys are scared, every single one of you, from going to college. And yeah, you're welcome. What am I doing? Okay, yeah. So I want to do this little groove right here, um, as a curve. And to do that, what I was planning on doing was using these side plates, running them down the length of the weapon, basically. So we're going to do it. We're going to go ahead and set up a demonstration here of how I was going to. College is honestly a wonderful place to be. Like, I honestly enjoy going to college. Like, the entire week that I missed, which in my time is go to class for 2 days of college, was honestly painful because I've missed all my friends. There's a lot of people that you meet. There's a lot of people that you talk to. That's really fun and whatnot. Um, so when you miss days like that, you kind of feel sad because it's like going to normal school. You are going to get into groups of 3 or 4, and that problem was to figure out the square roots of the imaginary number I. Is it, am I back? You guys mind typing in chat whether or not you can hear me or not? And yeah, yeah, that happens every once in a while. Because that did just happen actually. So um, that happens a lot because my Elgato game capture is an ass every once in a while, and decides that I no longer have enough bandwidth to stream, so it will stop streaming and then it'll resume again. So okay, you guys can hear me. That's good. I can continue on with my story about my math teacher. I want to say that my math teacher like just sits there and every night that he's grading papers, he's just like, how can I make all of these people feel like complete fucktards? Um, and I don't know if you, I don't know where. I was basically talking about how on the first day of class he made us solve, but in order to solve for the square roots there, attempt to solve that, and you'll do about as good as any of us did on that college campus because none of us were getting it. All of us were beating our heads against the wall. We were sitting there like Professor so and so. I'm not gonna say his name because I'm not gonna do that. Ain't bad to him because I don't want to get screwed over in the end because of it. Anyhow, Professor so and so, we need help on this problem. We don't understand how to do the math involved behind it and things like that. And his response was, instead of you guys trying to get help, why don't you group up like I told you to and attempt to work on it that way, just continuously, like over and over and over again. Just do it, basically. He had that LaBeouf. He had the Shia LaBeouf mentality. Just do it. And all of us sitting there, just we could not just do it. It's not possible for people who don't understand the math behind the square root of I to just do it. And that was probably one of our biggest issues. And I'll tell you right now, that class went from a good 30 people down to a good 10. Uh, so, see, Bacher, you're at that point in education where you're lied to 24/7 and they tell you that you can't square root a negative number, but I'll tell you right now, it is positive to square root a negative number. I'll also tell you right now, do not walk into class and tell them that they're wrong because your math teacher will basically tell you to fuck off. Um, 'Cause I tried that once. It did not work out. So just don't do it. Um, in order to square root a negative number, you're gonna have to break up the number. Um, my video output is also really low. I'm on red right now in the stream. So yeah. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So I apologize for that, guys. That is also on my end. This is my horrible Wi-Fi and whatnot being rammed up the ass, basically. So I'm gonna go ahead and find my phone, and I'm gonna turn on airplane mode. Turn on. And on my tablet, I'm also gonna turn on airplane mode, and we're gonna see if we can free up some bandwidth here. And then I'm gonna get back to telling Bacher how to square root a negative number. Where is airplane mode at? Tablet. Airplane mode. There you are. And we're gonna hit OK. Now airplane mode is on that as well. I cannot turn my laptop on airplane mode. I can't turn on my desktop to airplane mode, and I can't turn my Xbox onto airplane mode either. And I don't think that's physically possible. I want to say my Nintendo 3DS is off, and that's everything within my power to turn off. So yes. Anyhow, okay. So in order to square root a negative number, you would be doing. Let's take a perfect square. So a perfect square is 16 because 4 times 4 is 16. So if you square root 16, you're going to get 4 and or negative 4 because with square roots you can have two answers. If you have square root of negative 16, you're going to split that up using the properties of squares so that it's the square root of 16 times the square root of negative 1. Because if you take and you put those and you work backwards from what I just did and you multiply also back up in the stream house, so that's good. if you put those back together on the same radical, you still have the same square root of negative 16. We've just broken it apart into square root 16 and the square root of negative 1. And now what happens is you can take the square root of 16, which is 4 and or negative 4, and you can take the square root of negative 1, which is I. So now we have 4I or negative 4I, and that's how you square root a negative number. So every person who ever has told you that you can't square root a negative number has, of course, lied to you. You can, in fact, square root a negative number. That's just a very quick lesson. There's obviously other things that go into it, and when you get into the more complicated problems, where you have like I squared and you're factoring out different things, you'll get negative ones, and then you start multiplying things. It gets more complicated later on, but as of right now, that's all you need to know. So have fun with that knowledge. I'm sure that eventually you'll get to that in your math classes, and you will be prepared for it, and you will not be shocked when they tell you that you can square root negative numbers. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something, and I hope that that made sense because I talk really quick when it comes to that. So I apologize if that went on way too quickly, um, or all of you, because I did speak kind of fast right there. So apologies, my companions. I'll tell you right now, Bacher, they tell you a lot of things in middle school, high school, and things like that. The mathematics courses there will tell you things that are straight up wrong. They want to keep it simple in high school because the high school education is tailored towards getting people jobs at a McDonald's, a Publix, which is like the Walmart of my state, because each state has like their own grocery chain. So like here in Florida, it's Publix. Farther north, like Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, it's Piggly Wiggly, and then Food Line and different things like that. So anyhow, that's besides the point. Modern like high school educations are tailored towards getting people really low end jobs. So you don't need to teach people how to square root negative numbers in a low end job because what's the point? Yes, the square root of negative 1 is indeed just represented by I. And it's a very squiggly I, by the way. So, yeah. Let's say you take the square root of negative 1. You get negative 1 times negative 1, which is positive 1, because a negative times a negative is a positive. But if you take and you do 1 times 1, you just get 1. So you can't technically take the square root of negative 1. So because of that, we made up a symbol for it, and that is I. So that's a very part of where exactly I came from. So yeah, you're more knowledgeable now. You have taken information from my brain on a college level, and now you can use it to however you want to. Um, I will tell you now, though, I learned about I in pre-calculus in high school. Um, so that's where I started with I, and then my intermediate algebra course, which is the first course that you take or in college. Um, we barely skimmed over I. We focused more on factoring and things like that. And then now that we're in, why is this piece not going where I want it to? Now that I'm in college algebra, which is the second course up from intermediate algebra, which is the high school equivalent of algebra 2, except really in depth. Um, we are learning about I now, and like really in depth. Um, we're like throwing it into equations. On the test, we're expected to memorize the different formulas for I and how everything relates to one another. There's a lot that goes into I. Don't think it's going to be like simple and sweet, because I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be. Um, yeah. I'm seriously just scaring you guys into not going to college, which is not a good thing. I shouldn't be scaring you guys into not going to college. If you have the opportunity to go to college, there's hardly any decently good paying job that you can get nowadays without a college degree in some way, shape, or form. If you want to work in ditches, in sewers, in McDonald's, in shopping centers for the rest of your life, don't go to college. That'll be a waste of money on your end. If you want to do something that's worthwhile, that's going to make you money that you can live off of, go to college. That's the best way that you can put it. And this is something that you guys have heard all of your life, I guarantee. But this is the truth, and I can tell you right now, that's something that you're going to need to do. Um, Not trying to scare you guys or anything like that. I'm just trying to let you know that if you want to live, go to college. In math, Blocker. Like, like if you divide anything by zero, it's a giant black hole in the universe just opened up, basically. But the cool thing is you can, in fact, graph undefined functions all the time. In fact, I graphed one the other day, believe it or not, in the form of a piecewise function on my math test. So yeah, I did in fact graph an undefined function. It's possible. I learned how to graph undefined functions in pre-calculus when we started talking about asymptotes on graphs and whatnot. Like vertical and horizontal sine and cosine, you start talking about all sorts of along with that section. Not so much into the point of like when you go to do certain translations with those graphs, you'll get into doing really crazy asymptotes and things like that. I didn't mean to open the files. My bad. Somewhere up here, I'm going to need to put down a screw of some type, basically. Um, I'm going to say that it'll probably go right there, and I'll just take this piece and go down there, and we'll take a screw going off the edge right there. So we'll do that piece and that piece right there. And we'll do the same thing over here. So we basically deleted this. We took this piece, put it there, and there. Grabbed you, or the other piece, I can't remember which one, it doesn't really matter. Put you there, and put you there. And then the piece that we put here was this, and that. I honestly, I loved undefined graphs. I loved undefined graphs way more than the current stuff that I'm doing in whatchamacallit, college algebra. Because the stuff that you do in college algebra in this class in particular is because you start with a word problem. You read the word problem to yourself about 40 times because you don't understand it. You are asked to, in particular, solve for something in the word problem, and you go to set up the equation, and you're staring at the equation for all of like a good 40 minutes because you don't understand which parts of the equation need to be set up and which parts don't, and what you're trying to solve for. And sometimes you're missing pieces of information that you have to go back and solve for independently of what you're trying to solve already. And then you have to kind of graph everything. So the other day on my math test, I was expected to graph a decaying exponential growth problem. So we were doing half-life of radium, um, which is it's not easy to do in particular. And we also had to do an entire table um, for just medicine inside of a patient's body. So like our initial dose is 18 things of this, and you have um, after a certain amount of time in T, we have this much left. This much leaves the system in this amount of time. You need to solve for this. You need to figure out this. You need to set it up in a table. You need to set up in a graph. as it approaches 0, what happens on the x scale? What does the y-intercept mean? Will it ever cross x? In theory, by the way, it doesn't cross x. It approaches 0 is the fancy term for it. You need to figure out the domain and the range, which plays back into that approaching 0 thing. And then you need to define what the domain and range are, and so Brick Built, you should be proud of being in pre-calculus in 10th grade because I was in pre-calculus my senior year of high school. In 10th grade, I was in geometry, not taking that class seriously at all. I had a really good teacher, and I shit you not, I could literally sleep through geometry and still get 100 on the exams in geometry, which is probably why I liked graphing undefined functions so much because it's just exceptionally easily to do. Um, Probably part of it, to be completely honest. Um, Also, I think that is in fact the front foregrip design thingy that we're going for, the handguard, I should say, not the foregrip. My bad. Ignore my illogical stating. I have a lot of math going on in my head and going through how I'm going to do this wonderful, wonderful math essay that has to be, I want to say like 3 or 4 pages. Most of you brick built, they're going to fail miserably. At the high school that I went to is an exceptional teacher. She can teach you math even in your sleep. Like you could be dead asleep in your bed in the middle of the night, and as long as she's sitting there talking to you, you'll learn math up and down. Um, but that when it comes to that AP exam and you're sitting there and there's so much pressure on you and you need to pass the exam, you're going to fail. Um, I knew in my entire high school career, I knew 40 people who went through AP Calc, and I want to say 2 of them passed. And that was my 4 years of high school in total because I knew a lot of people in high school because I wasn't a loner, like a lot of people think high school being cool is. No, don't be alone in high school. Make friends in high school. It'll be much better in the end. Plus, you get to talk to people, and when people are good at things, you can get help on certain things that you might have. Bacher, good luck taking AP Calc next year. I hope you do well. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a shit ton of work. You're gonna absolutely despise taking AP Calc. Um, Most of my friends bitched out and took AP Statistics, which is arguably the easier course, but there's a lot of memorization when it comes to formulas, and it only really helps if you're going into a field of statistics. So I'm not trying to say don't take AP Calc. I'm just telling you right now, there's a lot that goes into taking AP Calc. So good luck and have fun is a good place to leave off. I will tell you now that the value of AP courses is high. Like when people tell you, "Oh, you need to take AP courses," take AP courses. My freshman year of high school, I took AP Human Geography, arguably the most hard AP course coming out of middle school. I passed with a 3 on that exam. My next high school semester, I took AP World History. I received a teacher who knew nothing of what she was talking about. I was able to convince her that oranges were traded on the Silk Road when indeed they were not, because oranges don't grow in that side of China and or Rome or those places. Um, that teacher would willingly leave the room with the gradebook open on the computer. So I probably shouldn't be admitting this on stream because I'm pretty sure this is a federal offense. But students would go up and change their grades in the gradebook, and we would convince her that that is indeed the grade that they got on that exam because she never kept her papers around. She usually lost them because she was moving houses so much. So she couldn't remember the grades for every student she had. She would show us videos that I don't think any student in their right mind should be allowed to see. Um, we watched videos on Chinese foot binding, and we're not talking about like historical videos where they explain the process or the reason why they did it. We're talking about videos that show the actual process being done because Foot binding was popular up into the 19th century. It was done right around the same time that photos and video was being first developed in China. So there is video archive data of seeing someone's feet being bound together, and that is not something that any student should see at all. That is a no-no. We watch videos on teeth sharpening in African cultures where they take a machete and they put it up against their square teeth and they sharpen it down into triangles. And that is a sign of beauty. It is a sign of warriorship, basically, like being strong. They do it without. Um, I got a 2 on the AP Human exam. Our third FRQ literally asked for the definition of a refugee. Yeah, that's why AP exams are really difficult because a lot of the college level stuff is really, really subjective, and your main goal on the essay is to not state facts, but it's to state facts and then use them in a way that bolsters your argument, which to a lot of high schoolers is hard to do. I've gone through so many AP courses that it just doesn't matter to me anymore. But back onto the subject of what I was talking about. Um, After our African tribe uh, video, we were able to watch a woman's clitoris be cut off. And I know a lot of you are really young in chat, but a woman's clitoris is a part of the vagina. That is a really sensitive part of the vagina, and it does not feel good to be cut off. And apparently, in this particular country, um, the sexual lust is a sin. So to fix that sexual lust, they decide to cut off the most stimulating part of the vagina. Uh, yeah. So yeah. All right. For the good luck wishes, have fun eating and whatnot. And yeah, my sophomore year of high school, I took, I want to say, 2 AP classes. I took AP United States History and AP uh, English Composition, which other people might know as AP Language Arts. I passed both of those exams with a 3, which is great because, or actually, I rephrase that. I passed AP English Composition with a 3, and I failed AP American History with a 2. However, I was offered the CLEP exam for my AP American History exam, and I passed the CLEP exam. And because I passed the CLEP exam, my grade on my AP American History test was bumped up to a 3. So I technically passed that as well. Um, and then my senior year of high school was the year that I decided to go no holds bar. I'm going to take as many AP courses as physically possible. So my senior year of high school, I took AP Psychology, AP Environmental Science, AP Literature, which is different from English Composition, AP Government, and AP Macroeconomics. The only 2 exams that I passed out of those 5 was AP Environmental Science and AP Psychology. Um, I failed AP Literature, I failed AP Macroeconomics, and I failed AP Government. And my AP Government and Macroeconomics teacher was the same teacher. She's the nicest person I've ever met in my life. She's the most well versed in those subjects that I've ever met. The only issue is that I failed those exams. Actually, I missed one. I also took AP European History because the same teacher that taught me AP Macroeconomics and AP Government also taught me AP European History. I failed all 3 of those exams. So I took 6 exams actually. I failed 4 out of the 6. Um, Last year's AP exams, in particular 2015's, were some of the most brutal. And in fact, if you guys want to see the exams that I've taken, uh, you can in fact look them up on the College Board website because they are released after the end of the exam. Um, so yeah, just so you guys know, I've taken a lot of AP courses in my career. They're worth it. I've learned a lot. I use some of that knowledge on a daily basis in some of my classes, in particular Asian humanities, I talk about a lot of the differences between Western culture and the Eastern culture um, in essays in particular when we're talking about different paintings, sculptures, and things like that. Uh, Eastern cultures in particular focus on nature and being one with nature, whereas in um, the Western culture, they focus more on the body, the physical aspect of human beings. And the reason for that is because we're descendants from the Roman civilizations or the Greeks. And the Greeks also had a heavy influence on the body, like having the perfect body, very muscular, very handsome bodies. You'll see that throughout their sculptures and their paintings, things like that. So, um, I definitely use the knowledge that I've learned in AP courses, so it's not just about taking the exam. Um, it's not just about passing that exam either. It's being able to take what you learn and applying that to your everyday life. So, for example, my I still talk to my AP Gov Macro and European History teacher. She's very chill. She's very close to our age as high schoolers. So she's only like a few years older than us. Um, and she like just converses with us on almost a regular basis. So we'll sit there and we'll talk to her all the time, and she doesn't feel any hatred towards me for failing all of those exams because she knows I still use it in everyday life. And that was her goal as a an AP teacher, was to just teach people and have them use it in their everyday life. Um, some teachers will get really mad at you for failing their exams because every student who passes an AP exam, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, every student who passes that AP exam, that teacher gets a $50 bonus. So yes, if you want to make your teachers really happy, take multiple classes with them that are AP, pass every single one so that they get a $50 bonus per passing grade too, and they'll be happy a lot. Um, Teachers do a lot for this country, and I don't think people notice it as much as they should. Because teachers are on the front lines of a lot of things. School shootings are a thing, and teachers are involved with that. In particular, Columbine is a very good example. I'm well versed in the Columbine tragedy, by the way. So if I reference that a lot, it's because I'm an expert on it for the most part. Sandy Hook is another school shooting that is very prevalent that took a life of a teacher. Um, so teachers, they have a definite threat, and that doesn't mean students don't either, but teachers are there more than students. Like some Fridays out of a year, that's not something that they might have wanted to do on their day off, their like spring break, things like that. They have to put up with some of the worst kids that I have ever seen in my life. I've heard a student walk up to a teacher and ask her in particular to take her failing grade of a 65 and bump it up to a 90, uh, and then proceeded to call her a racist after she said no. And part of the reason that she said no in particular is because she even told the woman who was asking for the grade buff that had voided an entire month's worth of work in terms of grades. That's We graduated in white while everyone else graduated in black. And I will tell you right now, it was the greatest feeling ever to graduate in white because all the people who pick on you and whatnot always graduate in black. And when you graduate a part of the National Honor Society, you graduate before everyone else. So everyone in black has to wait while you strut yourself across stage, flaunting that you're graduating in white while they're graduating in black. So all those people who made fun of you for all those times for whatever reason can suck a dick because you just graduated first before them and they have to wait to graduate. That was some of the most fun I think I've ever had. Being able to walk up there and straight just giant fuck yous to everyone who ever made fun of me in any way, shape. First while y'all are sitting to graduate before me. It felt. I think graduation will be another story that I talk about in a later stream because graduation has some trouble in it for some of us, I should say. Not all graduation and all in all, I liked my high school career. Don't get me wrong, guys. I went to high school in a not a particularly good area, but not a particularly bad one either. The problem with my high school is that it was an overflow school, and it basically what happens is if your school is an overflow school, you are not going to have a good time. An overflow school takes people from a few different other schools and throws them all into the same school. And the particular problem that I had with that in my school is that the schools that they took people from were mostly composed of separate gang members, and putting a bunch of different rival gangs into the same school is not a good idea in the slightest. The first day that my school was open, there was a giant riot. People were stabbed, people were punched, people were arrested, people were tased by the officers trying to respond to this giant brawl that literally broke out in campus. There was a lot that happened at that school in its first year of opening. That school opened in 2005, though, and I went there from 2011 to 2015. So I didn't have to deal with that type of stuff. I've seen my fair share of fights at the school, though. I will tell you, some of them were absolutely downright hilarious. Um, and some of them weren't because some of them were pretty bad. I've had like right off of campus, they were walking by someone who didn't particularly care for their lifestyle, their way of life, or something like that. Just whatever reason they could find and whatever reason they wanted, that was the reason that they shot them. In particular, we've had a lot of gang shootings around the area. We had a gang shooting at the school. Um, we've had uh, this year in particular, because my sister still goes to that school. Um, it started raining harder, so you probably hear that now. So I apologize if you do hear that. 2015, the year that I graduated, I went to prom, and prom is another story because prom was kind of bad. But on the other hand, I thoroughly enjoyed prom and the ability to go to prom. Having going to prom is a big deal. Honestly, like if you guys ever want to go to prom or something like that, go to prom because it will be well worth your time going to prom. It's a blast to go to prom. Just make a good time out of it. Go with a bunch of your friends. Even if you don't have a woman to go with, just go to prom because I guarantee it'll be fun. Um, oh no, our video output has gotten back into the red. Crap. I hope you guys can still hear my stories because I'm going on. Like I'm going off on these stories right now. Some of these I probably shouldn't be telling you guys too much about, but I am. So bear with me on that one. Um, so yeah, I went to prom. I had a blast. I honestly don't think that my sister will have that same opportunity to go to prom and have fun because as of right now, the school is officially looking into canceling prom because they have so many fights now at that school that it's not even funny. Um, they had a stabbing this year. Um, they've had numerous uh, like fist fights, just like straight on brawls in the middle of the cafeteria, in the middle of the courtyard. They've had it after school, before school. Just so many fights, like endlessly back and forth, uh, all all semester long, basically. And they've moved on into looking into canceling uh, prom because of that, which really sucks. So yeah, I'm about to get spammed by party invites from Matt. I really, really apologize. There's nothing I can really do about that other than turning off my notifications, which I'll be completely honest with you, I don't know how to do at all. So Matt can continue to spam me with invites all he wants, but I'm currently live streaming for you guys, and I'm decently close to finishing arguably the hardest part of the Cuda. So I'd rather finish this and then go on to play something. Uh, Probably not Smite. Like I know they want me to play Smite. That's the main thing that we play together. I will not be playing Smite tonight. Just I don't. I kind of want to relax and play some Call of Duty Black Ops 3 instead of that because I've just spent so much time building a Kuda from Call of Duty Black Ops 3 that it kind of be fun to use it in game now. We are back to the yellow as well from the looks of it. So, like I said, guys, I apologize for the stream health cutting in and out. It's not something that I ever intend on happening at all. It's not something that I ever want to happen at all, but sometimes it happens because my bandwidth in particular is not good enough to run everything that I'm doing right now, which sucks. But it's one of those things that what can you do about it? Like I'm already paying for probably the best internet that I can possibly pay for as of right now, so it's not something that I'm able to um, bump up any higher than what it's at. My phone is also on airplane mode, which means all the text that I'm going to get from them when I turn it off of airplane mode is just going to suddenly blow up my phone in seconds. So I probably could have turned off Wi-Fi instead of just turning off or turning on airplane mode. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off airplane mode, turn off, and then I'm just going to swipe to Wi-Fi and turn that off. And I'm also going to turn off my mobile data because that's the primary reason why my Wi-Fi was on. Swipe that, swipe that. And I'll put that up and just wait for the text to come rolling in because I know they'll come rolling in here in a second. I kind of want the distinction between this section here and this section here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get that exactly the way that I want it. So we will mess with that just a tad bit more once I finish off this section and seeing like what I want to exactly do to finish this off at the front here. So obviously I'm going to run 12s all the way back towards there. And I'm going to change that. I'm going to instead do 1s here, 1s there, 8, 8. I didn't mean to do that. 1 there, 1 there, and then I'm going to run 12s so that we get something looking like this going. And then I'll delete that, and we will go ahead and throw 3, 3, 3. Fix that up real quick right here. And then, excuse me, I really didn't mean to do that. We'll come across the front here. And it's starting to really pick up on the rain. You can see on the inside here, I want to say that this is the barrel running across here. So to do that design, we are going to have to delete back, delete all of that, and delete, and delete that as well. And we'll hide this. And how we're going to do this is we're going to set up a from 3 studs to 2 studs. Put that there, put that there, put that there. We are then going to use, where are you at? This piece in particular, right there. We are going to run an axle piece. This is the large 32 one that I standardly use. Out to about there for a particular reason that I will touch upon later. And then to reinforce the point in which it attaches to the weapon itself, because of the piece that we used, we can use that. And we can't use that. Never mind. We will worry about that later on. So let's go to say that we throw the barrel in place, which is going to be a metallic color. We will drag that there, drag that. We are going to I have a feeling that it's hitting these here. Oh my gosh, I can't click properly for some reason. We will copy these one more time. And now we have our cylinder moving through where we need it to move through. And we are able to actually fit a layer of 3 going through there, which I didn't think we were going to be able to do, but considering that we can, we are going to hide. Oop, I didn't mean to hide those two pieces. We're going to hide these and duplicate another layer going across, and that didn't line up where I wanted to do. Oops. Get that piece going on there. And then you might be asking how I'm going to do this front section right here, and that's easy because I'm going to use these wall pieces here, like so. And now we have closed off the front section here so that it looks better. Yes, we are making progress, guys. Making progress. Yeah, I could do that, Bacher. I'm gonna have to mess with the front part of this bolt face basically, in order to do that. Which is okay because something that I wanted to mess with is this section going along here. In particular because I think I have a way for this to look better. We will see. I was really hoping that would work. Will it work? I hope it works because that'd be really cool if it does. That works, but it has to be that high. Which I honestly don't mind at all. So if we do, because there's a curve running along the top here, and there's a section back here that I want to try to do when I get to doing the stock later on. So this looks really wrong with the long barrel, so I'm going to go ahead and shorten this down to its proper length, and then I'll take and I'll throw a 16 through the back of it, and this is a 16. So I obviously needed to connect through these two points back here, which it does, and it goes through most of it, so that'll be decently well supported, like it should be. So what was I doing? Curve. Okay, yeah. To do the curve like I want to. Why is that doing that? I was going to use. My voice just did that weird S thing. I was going to use these pieces here. In particular, this part. Because of this piece here. And that gives me the proper curve that I want. This curve going along here. And then I can use these pieces going along the top here to give it the proper strength that it will require. Um, and then I'll throw these going that angle that you see there. Now then there's a design that goes here that I will be doing. I'm going to go ahead and finish up doing the receiver. I'm going to close it all up, and then I'm going to go ahead and get off my friend Luke and whatnot. So this is a 12, so I'm just going to run, and then I'm really looking at is this right. Okay. Um, in particular, this stud that's on top of here needs to disappear, which can be done if I do some interesting work using these pieces. And I run U into the back here. I run the 3 like I had it. And now the studs are on the other side, so I can do that like so, and then I should be able to put that there. Okay, perfect. All right, yep. All right, good. We're good. We needed to do that, and then we just have to close off these with flat pieces. Good. We're good. We have closed off that like it should be done. So good job. We have successfully done it. Now we just need to figure out a way of curving this because that sits too high. These 2 bricks here to be these pieces. And then we run these going down this way, and can I, yeah, I can't get one up underneath there. That's somewhat disappointing. And then we're going to, in fact, drop that, and that, and we will run a smooth tile piece going all the way down, like so. And because the rail system has to be there, we're going to run 2x12s going all the way down now. Actually, not even 2x12s. Let's make it entirely stable, like it should be.